I'm Gavin Aguirre, and I'm doing my presentation on basic car maintenance, and these are just kind of items I think that everyone driving, or if you own a car, or really anybody, should know how to do and check for. First thing we're going to check is the most important fluid in your car, and that's going to be your engine oil. And the easiest way to check this is through this thing called a dipstick. As you see, mine's yellow, so on others it might be orange, and it might not just be a circle, it might be like a little cap. And you just pull it out, and it's a stick to check your oil. And what you want to do is you want to wipe it clean of all the oil, put it back in, and then take it out, and then check on the level of how much of where your oil should be. As you see, I'm kind of low, and if it's anything below about 3/4, I would say I'd top it off with some more. And the way you would top it off is through filling it up through your oil cap, which is going to be right here. On others, of course, it might look different, but it's all going to be the same principle.
Using the dipstick, you could check the oil by looking at the two indicators, the min and the max, or in my case, mine has an F and an L for full and low. On others, it just might be another indicator to help you measure.
Besides oil, there's a bunch of other fluids also in your car that you should know how to check. One of the most important ones right here is you can see the power steering fluid. And to check these, sometimes you'll see on the side, as mine does right here, there's a very faint lines, but it says min-max for a hot and cold. And you can always just take off the top and checking them, just to make sure you have fluid. And then power steering is responsible for turning the car and making sure it's easy to turn, because if not, it'd be really like pretty much a workout to turn anywhere. Another one you can check is your coolant, but this is just an extra reservoir, because the real coolant is going to be right here in your radiator. And you're going to check that, you're going to take off this top. But for this, always be careful, because when it gets hot, it gets under pressure. So you take this off when it's hot, it'll blow out boiling hot coolant.
Oh my god!
There you go. As you can see, I still have some coolant in there. And that's really all you need to check for, is just make sure you have some in there. It shouldn't look dry. You should always see something to be in there. Another one you can check is your washer fluid, and this is the one that sprays when you turn on your washers. As you can't really see inside, mine has a filter on there, but it just, you know, you have some. And then another the very most safety important one you want to check for right here, this is your brake fluid. And as you see, it also has on this side with a min and a max. And sometimes it's hard to see, so sometimes it's a little bit easier if you take out the cap and shine like a flashlight in just to see. And when you're done, just make sure you put everything back. And that's pretty much it. That's the fluids you're going to need to know about. And that'll be the easiest ones for you to check and make sure you're all good on. And the next thing we're going to check is the tire pressure, and how much air should be in there, and how good your tread is. And the way you check to see how much air should be in your tires is if you look right here on the inside of your door, you usually have a little sticker, and I'll have your VIN and other information. But as you can see on the top, it says recommended tire air pressure, and for 4 occupants, it's about 30. So we're going to go check my tires and make sure there's at least 30. What you check is you take off this little cover from the valve stem. You get one of these. This is a tire air pressure gauge. They're not that expensive. They're super cheap. You'll find them pretty much everywhere, honestly. If they sell like parts for cars, you'll find it. And all you do is stick it on there. It's a good seal, and it's not making that much noise. And you take it out and look at it. And each one of those dots is 2. So as you see right now, I have 32 psi. Which is pretty good. It doesn't really matter too much if it's over, if it's not by a drastic amount. It only really matters if you're under, and that's when it gets worrying. You just put that back on, and then we know the pressure's good. And then a simple way for us to check the tread is the penny trick. If you see a normal penny, of course it has Abraham Lincoln on it, and that little space between his head and the edge of the coin is really what you want to use to check the tread. So you can put it in upside down. And as you can see on mine, since I have still a lot of tread left, the top of his head is covered. And that's really what you want. And if you like, move it up, and you see like you're gonna see like his forehead. It's just kind of like the closer you get, the more you should be worrying. And like if you could fully see his head, you're dangerously low on tread, and you might want to get new tires ASAP.